For over 16 years, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has built one of the most ambitious, interconnected stories in film history. What began as a single experiment with a B-list hero in 2008 has become a connected saga spanning over 50 projects. But across its history, the MCU has been divided into phases, each one marking a new era of storytelling. Each phase expands the universe in a different direction, introducing new heroes, exploring new concepts, and following up on the legacy of what came before. Today, we're going over them all. Phase 1 is where it all began, running from 2008 to 2012 and consisting of just 6 movies: Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America the First Avenger, and The Avengers. Before there was a Multiverse Saga or even an Infinity Saga, there was the story of the original 6 Avengers coming together, which is what Phase 1 set out to accomplish and very much did. The story of the MCU began with a man trapped in a cave learning to become something bigger than himself. A genius billionaire arms dealer, Tony Stark was forced to confront the cost of his own creations when he was captured in Afghanistan. Building his first suit from scraps, he emerged from the desert as Iron Man, a changed man and a hero determined to protect the world he once profited from. Nick Fury's post-credit line to Tony Stark perfectly encapsulated what was to come for this new cinematic universe.
Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
From there, that new universe began to grow. In The Incredible Hulk, Dr. Bruce Banner becomes a weapon born of guilt and rage, albeit with an Edward Norton face we'd have to forget by his next appearance. Speaking of replacing actors, Iron Man 2 saw James Rhodes become War Machine and brought Natasha Romanoff into the mix, while Nick Fury really began to lay the groundwork of the Avengers Initiative. In Thor, an arrogant Prince of Asgard was stripped of his power and cast to Earth, where he learned humility and the weight of sacrifice before defeating some frost giants. Oh yeah, it also introduced Hawkeye, almost forgot. Meanwhile, Captain America the First Avenger told the story of Steve Rogers, a frail but pure Brooklyn boy who was transformed into a symbol of courage in humanity's darkest hour. Frozen in time, he would awaken decades later in a new world, one that needed him more than ever. All of these stories finally converged in the Avengers. Loki's invasion of New York forced 6 broken but extraordinary individuals to stand together for the first time. They clashed, they failed, and they learned to trust one another. The Avengers assembling against Loki's army is the moment a cinematic universe was truly born. That movie also marked the first appearance of Thanos, an early tease for who would become the big bad of the Infinity Saga. But if Phase 1 was about anything, it was discovery and setting up our initial Avengers lineup that would lead the charge forward. Phase 2 began in 2013 and ran until 2015. Like Phase 1, it also ran for 6 movies: Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. With the world now aware of the Avengers, Phase 2 began by asking a single question: what comes after victory? The heroes who had saved New York now face the consequences of their own power. Iron Man 3 opened with Tony Stark haunted by PTSD from the events of the Battle of New York. His armor could not protect him from anxiety or fear, forcing him to rediscover who he was without the suit, while battling another villain from his past. In the rather forgettable Thor: The Dark World, the God of Thunder faced a threat that reached across realms, battling Malekith and the Ether, later revealed to be the Reality Stone. Meanwhile, Captain America: The Winter Soldier tore down everything the first film built. Steve Rogers uncovered the corruption of S.H.I.E.L.D. itself, exposing Hydra's rebirth and reluctantly battling his best friend, Bucky. Beyond Earth, the Guardians of the Galaxy expanded the universe into deep space. What began as a band of criminals became a new family, united by humor, loss, and the Power Stone. marking another early glimpse of Thanos' looming shadow. Back on Earth, Avengers Age of Ultron pushed the team to another limit. Tony's fears of another alien invasion led to the creation of Ultron, an AI meant to save the world that instead tried to destroy it. It would take the creation of the Vision to make things right. Phase 2 ended with Ant-Man, a smaller story with massive implications. Scott Lang's heist-turned-origin introduced the concept of the quantum realm, a world that would later hold the key to stopping Thanos. Phase 2 broke the world the Avengers built and expanded the MCU into something far larger, with a focus on developing the Infinity Stones that would play an important part in the fight to come. Phase 3 ran from 2016 to 2019 and is the largest one so far, almost the same length of Phases 1 and 2 combined, consisting of 11 total movies. Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. By the time Phase 3 began, the world had changed, and so had its heroes. The Avengers were no longer united. Their victories had consequences, and their enemies became reflections of themselves. It opened with Captain America Civil War, where government oversight divided the team that once stood together. A debate over accountability erupted into betrayal and broken friendships that culminated in a civil war, pitting Team Iron Man against Team Cap. The Avengers were fractured, and the shadow of Thanos grew closer, even though we did get to meet the likes of Black Panther and Spider-Man. Meanwhile, the MCU expanded further in scale than ever before. Doctor Strange introduced the mystic side of the universe, revealing the Time Stone and the idea that reality itself could be reshaped by knowledge and will. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 deepened the cosmic side of the universe, exploring family and identity beyond Earth's reach, and revealing Star-Lord's celestial status. Spider-Man Homecoming brought Peter Parker into the spotlight, guided by Tony Stark as the Avengers' newest protege. And Black Panther unveiled Wakanda, a hidden world of tradition and innovation powered by vibranium. Then came Thor Ragnarok, where the God of Thunder lost everything: his hammer, his home, and even his father, before rediscovering what truly made him worthy. That film led directly into Avengers Infinity War, where Thanos finally made his move. One by one, he collected the Infinity Stones, dismantling every defense the Avengers had left. When he snapped and the dust settled, half of all life in the universe was gone. Ant-Man and the Wasp hinted at the key to undoing it through the quantum realm, setting the stage for Avengers Endgame. And Captain Marvel introduced another major player that would turn the tide against the Mad Titan. The culmination of over a decade of storytelling, Avengers Endgame united every surviving hero for one final fight. Through time travel and sacrifice, the Avengers reversed the snap, but at unimaginable cost. Tony Stark gave his life to save the universe, closing the Infinity Saga with both triumph and tragedy. Along the way, we also lost Black Widow, and the mantle of Captain America was passed on, setting the stage for a new team to begin to form in the next phase. But that's not before Spider-Man Far From Home, which served as almost an epilogue to Endgame, closing the story on Iron Man and addressing the reversal of the snap. Phase 3 marked the end of an era. It was the conclusion of the Avengers as we knew, and the beginning of a new saga waiting to take shape. Even though Phase 4 only ran from 2021 to 2022, it's by far the longest phase. 17 total projects, including WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Loki Season 1, What If, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ms. Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Werewolf by Night, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. After Endgame, the Marvel Cinematic Universe entered uncharted territory. The Infinity Saga had ended, the original Avengers were mostly gone, and the world was still learning how to live after half of it disappeared for 5 years. Phase 4 was about rebuilding and planting the seeds for what comes next, by introducing more new characters than perhaps any phase that came before. For the first time, television series became just as vital as film. WandaVision explored the depths of Wanda Maximoff's grief, turning her pain into a fabricated reality that spiraled into chaos as she properly became the Scarlet Witch. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier examined the weight of symbols and responsibility, as Sam Wilson struggled to accept the shield left behind by Steve Rogers. Loki cracked open the multiverse itself, showing that time and reality were far more fragile than anyone imagined. When it came to movies, Black Widow closed Natasha Romanoff's story, while Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings introduced ancient power to the modern world. Eternals expanded the cosmic scope even further, revealing beings who had watched humanity since its inception. Meanwhile, Spider-Man No Way Home shattered reality entirely, bringing together decades of Spider-Man history into one emotional conclusion. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Thor Love and Thunder continued that descent into chaos, showing heroes broken by loss and gods questioning their purpose. Black Panther Wakanda Forever became a tribute to both T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman, closing the phase on themes of mourning, resilience, and rebirth. Phase 5 began in 2023 and recently concluded in 2025, consisting of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2, The Marvels, What If Season 2 and 3, Echo, Deadpool and Wolverine, Agatha All Along, Captain America Brave New World, Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Thunderbolts, Ironheart, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Phase 5 was supposed to present Kang the Conqueror as the next Thanos-level threat, and begin the march towards Avengers the Kang Dynasty. But with the Jonathan Majors situation and poor audience reception, Marvel had to pivot mid-phase with the tease of Doctor Doom, to be played by Robert Downey Jr. It began with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, where Scott Lang faced the consequences of the quantum realm. The film reintroduced Kang the Conqueror, a being who could manipulate timelines and realities, but this variant would be stopped convincingly by Ant-Man. Probably not the best move when trying to re-establish him as the new big bad, but let's not beat a dead horse. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 brought closure to that team, as multiple cast members hung it up and director James Gunn departed for DC Studios. Meanwhile, Secret Invasion showed a darker side of heroism, where Nick Fury faced the infiltration of Earth by the shape-shifting Skrulls. Captain America Brave New World saw Sam Wilson battle the Red Hulk and take command as the leader of a new Avengers team that's starting to form. Thunderbolts brought us its shadow counterpart, a team of flawed heroes and reformed villains tasked with doing what others can't. And with Daredevil Born Again and Ironheart, the MCU is reconnecting its past to its future and expanding its lineup, one hero at a time. The foundations of the next Avengers team are being laid, and the war for the multiverse has only just begun. Finally, we arrive at Phase 6, which has only just begun. As of now, its lineup will include the Fantastic Four First Steps, Eyes of Wakanda, Wonder Man, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, Vision Quest, and Avengers Secret Wars. Phase 6 marks the next great convergence, where the established threads will begin to collide, as we approach the next 2 Avengers movies. Where the first saga united 6 heroes against a single threat, this new era stretches across realities, timelines, and generations. It all began with the Fantastic Four First Steps, finally introducing the MCU's first family, as they took on Galactus in another timeline, before seemingly traveling to the main MCU one. Its post-credit scene also gave us our first look at Doctor Doom, albeit without showing his face. Meanwhile, the MCU will continue to expand its world throughout the phase. Eyes of Wakanda brought more untold stories from Wakanda, while Wonder Man will blur the line between fame and heroism. And Daredevil Born Again returns for its second season, grounding this universe in the street-level conflicts of Hell's Kitchen. Elsewhere, Spider-Man Brand New Day is expected to rebuild Peter Parker's world after his identity was erased, and Vision Quest will follow the resurrected Vision as he searches for meaning and humanity. But everything is building toward two catastrophic events: Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Here, countless realities, heroes, and legacies will collide in a final battle that could decide the fate of every world the MCU has ever touched. It could serve as the hard reset many fans feel the universe needs, or move towards a Phase 7 focused on something like mutants. But we're getting into speculation territory now, so we'll turn the question to you. How should the MCU handle Secret Wars, and where should things go come Phase 7? Let us know in the comments.